I'm going to invite our beloved practitioner, Marc Ruth, to come on up. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Sharon. Let me just get a little sip of water here, if you don't mind. I think it's water. There we go. Yes, it's been a very exciting week for Monica and me, Monica, my wife. We went to the Asilomar CSL conference up in Pacific Grove. And Asilomar is a very special place for the Centers of Spiritual Living because Ernest Holmes went there in the mid-50s to 1959, gave some very powerful talks, and a lot of other people were giving some wonderful talks. So at this gathering, they also had very powerful speakers, some motivational, some inspirational, some spiritual, and some controversial, which is always exciting to me to listen to different points of view, because our philosophy in Science of Mind is that we're open at the top. So, you know, we like to learn new things. We like to unfold our spirituality. And this was a revitalization of remembering the past and going forward, renewing ourselves. It was dynamite. We are blessed here at this center for the wonderful speakers that we have had. I mean, Dr. Moira, Reverend Mary, Reverend Catherine, Reverend Valerie, Dr. Sharon. And so I am so honored to just share this platform with those speakers. They are very, very knowledgeable about Science of Mind, and they are motivational, inspirational, and they give us a lot of great information. So I picked this topic a number of weeks ago before going to Asilomar, and it was, does it resonate? Question mark. And I came up with that because I had an episode many years ago, before I even met my wife, Monica. I was dating a lady, a wonderful, warm, loving nurse from Huntington Beach, and she happened to be a member of the Church of Religious Science. I knew nothing about that in the early 90s. I didn't go to service. We rarely talk spirituality. But one time she did mention to me, she said, Mark, you know, you're perfect. Whoa. I said, hey, I know I've told you this story before. I said, hey, I'm pretty good. But a lot of my shortcomings quickly came to mind. So I said, no, I can't handle that. So she tried to say I made no mistakes. I said, yeah, sure. Right. She says, well, are you happy right now? I'm very happy. I got you in my life. My work is great. My kids, great. Yeah, I'm happy. Then did you make any mistakes, or did you just have learning experiences along the way? I said, fine. But you know, I couldn't get that perfect thing out of my brain. And quite frankly, I couldn't relate. It did not resonate with me. So you say, well, resonate. What does resonate mean? I'd like to quote from the dictionary. It's to produce or be filled with a deep, full, reverberating sound, kind of like a vibration. And how is it interpreted? It connects with your emotions, values, beliefs, or experience. Well, none of those back then did I am perfect resonate at all with me. So, 7 years later, I meet my wife, Monica, and she brings me here to the Redondo Beach Center of Spiritual Living. At that time, it was the Church of Religious Science. But in that 7-year gap, I had done some reading. I read a number of Stephen Covey's books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, First Things First, Principle-Centered Leadership. I read the Celestine Prophecy and some of those insights that are living your life from the inside rather than being influenced by the external circumstances. I also read other self-improvement books. So here I come into Science of Mind, and it didn't happen immediately because I got hung up over objective and subjective first. That's another talk for another day. But I took Science of Mind 1 like 4 times, Science of Mind 2 twice, 4 times also, excuse me. So, I had a lot of basic Science of Mind training. And then Monica wanted to go further. What do you want to do? She said, well, I want to become a practitioner. I said, okay, I don't know what that is. But if you want to do it, whither thou goest, I shall go. That's the book of Ruth. From the Bible, not just from me. So I said, okay, I want to learn more about Science of Mind. So 3 years of that, and in that class, I said, hey, wait a second. But I do want to become a practitioner. I felt a calling there. And a couple of years after that, about 2 years of ministerial, it's a 3-year class. Monica and I said, no, we've had enough. That does it. In those times, there is the concept. You are perfect, whole, and complete. Now, with the classes, with the discussion groups, with listening to the various talks, that began to resonate with me. In other words, 7 years and a lot of teaching later, I began to understand what Troward said when he talked about the absolute plane, up on the spiritual plane, where things are perfect, whole, and complete, and the relative plane, where we live, where there are limitations and conditions. And I said, ooh, I'm starting to understand that. So that began to resonate with me, and as I learned more, reading, contemplation, discussion, that moved to acceptance. And then it moved to belief. And then it moved to a knowing. But I still said, how do people, I didn't resonate with it at the beginning. I remember about 5 years ago, I got a lengthy email from a member of the congregation who said, I just don't understand. People in this organization keep telling me I'm perfect, whole, and complete, and yet they do not act perfect, whole, and complete. They're being hypocritical. I said, ooh, yes. I said, but from an analytical point of view, there is not a spot where God is not. So we all have the God essence inside of us. And what is the God essence? Well, that's perfect, whole, and complete. So, as a practitioner, what am I looking for or at when that client comes to me? According to Dr. Holmes, I'm looking at their spiritual perfection, because I'm eliminating and erasing the wrongful thoughts of the limitations and conditions that they're bringing to me. But why have me say that? Let's see what Ernest Holmes has to say about that. Although man is inherently a perfect idea, his individuality covers this idea with the forms of thought which he imagines. So Holmes is telling us we're the perfect idea in the mind of God. But guess what? Our individuality, our conditions and limitations are covering that up. But Holmes goes on to say, healing then is accompanied by uncovering, neutralizing, and erasing false images of thought and letting the perfect idea reflect itself through subjective mind into the body. So, Holmes is telling us how we can heal this. So, the concept of being perfect, whole, and complete, I don't have to always feel the burden that I must act perfect, whole, and complete, because I have the knowing that the essence inside of me is perfect, whole, and complete. Up at Asilomar, a 17-year-old gave a talk. And here, obviously, not a practitioner, has been to teen camp, and this girl was marvelous. Motivational, informational, and inspirational. And what she talked about is that as she was growing up, the family always said, "Oh, you are the light. You are the light. You are so wonderful." She heard that light so many times, she started to encompass that in her personality. I'm the light, I'm the light. And then she started feeling the pressure of, to be accepted, to be loved. I have to be the light. Ooh, the anxiety began to build. And this pressure and this anxiety, she went the other way. Just like maybe that congregant that we had who wrote me the lengthy email. If he didn't understand the concept of being the light or being perfect, whole, and complete, you have a tendency to check out. I know that the law of attraction sometimes will say that's because you've taken your mind off of the grace and ease of the perfect concept. I am the light. I'm perfect, whole, and complete. And you've now put it into a desperation that I must be this. And that desperation is a negativity, and you attract more of that anxiety. And for a while, she checked out. Took a little bit, a couple of years, teen camp and some other stuff, and she was able to turn that around. So I think she went from it resonated with her to the pressure got too much for her. Then it resonated again, and through her contemplation, through her teachings, through her camp, she was able now to understand, to accept it, to now believe it, and to now know it. So, coincidence, science and mind, we're really not big believers in coincidence. So I told you I picked this topic and this whole perfect, whole, and complete thing a number of weeks ago. It's been working on my mind. So, at Asilomar, they also have workshops. And here was a workshop entitled Sacred Imperfection. Sacred imperfection. But if I'm perfect, whole, and complete, how do I get to this sacred imperfection? I got to go to this workshop. It wasn't only me at that workshop. This is Reverend Bonnie Rose from Ventura. And she must have had 8 tables, round tables, could easily accommodate 40, 50 people, no problem. Overflow. She runs out of her materials. She runs out of the free gift she was giving. She ran out of the free book that she had written. And I said to myself, this is pretty interesting. If here we have all of these science of mind, and they weren't all practitioners, and they weren't all ministers, there were a lot, but there were also some lay people there. But you couldn't tell in this 60, 70 people. But obviously they, perfect, whole, and complete, must have resonated with them. It's a teaching in science of mind, and yet you have a workshop here that's talking about sacred imperfection. I listened closely, and so if I may quote from Reverend Bonnie Rose, if God is all there is, and if divine love is sacred, what does that say about our imperfections? Sacred also? Question mark. She went on to say, my wholeness is so big, it includes what appears to be broken. Now, I'm sitting back and I'm saying, ooh, not only does this concept resonate with me and my understanding it on the absolute spiritual, technical plane and Ernest Holmes of how we treat and everything else, but now I'm also seeing another side of it, that to love ourselves wholly and completely, we love the whole package. Doesn't mean that we don't work to improve, but we love the shadow side, the dark side, the conditioned limitation side. And hopefully, we are able to examine those and move on through contemplation, through classes, acceptance, belief, knowing. And that, I believe, that process is how we change our thinking, how we change our world, and how we manifest. Now, I'd like to just play a quick little song. We've all heard this on Sundays. Maestro? Music.
You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love.
So we sing that here on Sundays, and that was sung a number of times at Asilomar, and there was also a signing going on of you are the face of God, I hold you in my heart. Very powerful. But I take a look at this as the concept. If I'm now can understand that I have the God essence in me, then I now can see the God essence in you and everyone else. Then how, if I were to somehow meet this energy, this presence, this power, if I were to meet that on the street, how would I treat that essence? Obviously with a lot of love, a lot of respect, a lot of gratitude. I know that Dr. Sharon on Sunday had a nice little story about the monks and the rabbi. And the rabbi says, hey, one of you is going to be the Messiah. And then suddenly, everyone started treating everyone differently. That law of attraction kicked in. And suddenly more people wanted to join this group of monks that was dying off. So it's our perception of how we see that other person, and a lot of times it's a projection of who we are. So if we're coming from that space, when we need to know that on the absolute plane, we're perfect, whole, and complete, and if we know that, we believe it, then we can live from that and demonstrate that. So, in 1998, I went to a success seminar. And I found the book the other day. And this was part of my having science of mind resonate with me. So I have a quick quote from one of the participants of that conference. She said, "Change. No control what happens, but can control how you respond. Project positive attitude and energy for the day, no matter what is happening in your life. One can change how they react. Humans can alter life by altering their attitude." I'm at a business seminar for success. And I'm going, well, I don't know how I can use this at work, but I know how I can use it for me. And it resonated with me. And so when I got here, this type of concept, which has science of mind written all over it, it's real easy for me to adopt and then to come from the spiritual side to emphasize it. Now, the next speaker at this seminar, accept 100% responsibility for everything that you are. You are the architect of your own destiny. No excuses, no blaming others, no criticism. If it's to be, it's up to me. No complaining. This is a master salesman. That's who this guy is. And I went, woo, 100% responsibility for my life. I can't blame out there. I can't blame the limitations and conditions. It's how I respond and how I react to it. It resonated with me and with the classes and listening to the messages up here and doing the readings and discussions and contemplations. Science of mind goes from it resonates to I accept it, I believe it, and I know it. So I'd like another song, if I may.
Of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
It's always difficult for me to hear that because it makes me emotional. I don't like crying on stage because there's no crying in baseball. But the second verse is also powerful. You're here to remind me of my magnificence, to help me awake to all the joy I'm worthy of. You long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You are here to remind me how much I'm truly loved. Our magnificence, is that coming from that God essence of perfect, whole, and complete? Or can I accept the fact that I have the spark of life, that I have the consciousness, that I have the awareness, that Spirit is expressing through me, and I'm enjoying life? And doesn't that, by definition, make me magnificent, that I'm here and have all of these opportunities? I think it does. So, the final song, we won't play the whole thing, because it all boils down now to our belief in Spirit, that one power. Maestro, hit it.
Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me.
It's the very air we breathe. It's the power of love in you and me. So I'd like to close my talk with a prayer. And I borrow these words from Ernest Holmes, maybe in honor of that I was at Asilomar. And this comes from the book, This Thing Called You, by Ernest Holmes. Today, I uncover the perfection within me. In its fullness, I reveal the indwelling kingdom. I look out upon the world of my affairs, knowing that the Spirit within me makes me both immediate and easy. I know there is nothing in me that could possibly obstruct or withhold the divine circuit of life and love, which good is. Good flows through me to all. Good shines through my thoughts and actions. Good harmonizes my body so that it is revitalized and manifests perfection in every cell, in every organ, in every function. Good harmonizes my mind so that love sings joyously in my heart. I am completely conscious of all good in me, around me, and in all that is. I am in complete unity with good. Therefore, today I declare that the law of the Lord is perfect in everything I do. It will externalize happiness. It will bring every good thing to me. I know not only that all is well with my soul, my spirit, and my mind, all is well with my affairs. And so it is. Thank you. Now is the time for our sharing, and Ruth will come around as we do our offering prayer. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. Now, this is the time that we normally have for any questions that you may have or treatments that you feel you'd like to have.
First, I want to say,
Just a moment for the people online. Here you go.
first I want to say I was very impressed with your presentation, the thought you put into it, and how effectively you delivered it. And I feel respected that you did that, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much.
And I'm challenged to clear my house out so that I can get my floors fixed. And, you know, I feel empowered to make the change, but I would like encouragement, I guess. because it's a
Okay.
big change.
To embrace the change.
Yeah. To know that I can do this, I can figure out a way to do it and get it done. And be brave with, to feel safe that it's a big change, but it's going to be for the good.
Excellent. So let's take a moment and join me in consciousness as I go within. I'll speak in the first person. And I know that there is only one power, one presence, one energy, one creator, one intelligence, and I am part of that creation. It's in me, through me, and as me. And as that intelligence is in me, I know and I declare right here, right now, that there is a knower within inside that guides me with grace and ease. And I know that the guide and the knower within me is doing so from a place of perfection and wholeness, and is able to, through the law of attraction, to attract into my life those things I need to accomplish tasks with grace, with ease. I know that the prosperity and abundance will flow to have me accomplish and to bring into my existence those who may assist me in meeting my goals, my aspirations. As I see from my highest point of view, I see things, I feel things as to what it would be as it were being accomplished right here and right now. Because on the spiritual plane, I know that that idea is already in universal mind and is manifesting onto this plane. I always give thanks that I do have this spark of life, this consciousness, and that I have the awareness that my thoughts, my thinking can manifest into reality. This is the truth of my word. I release it unto the law, saying that it is already so, as we say, and so it is. Any other questions? Oh, Mr. Bill Salem.
Mr. Marc, I just have a question.
Here, Bill, for the people online.
What amazes me about this teaching is that I always learn something when I come to this center. And today I learned something big. I'm aware about whole, perfect, and complete. 45 years is enough of it. But what I learned today, and I thank you for it, is this. Love myself whole and complete with all my baggage. Thank you for
Beautifully
that.
said. Beautifully
Thank you.
said. Thank you. Thank you for that message.
We do have some online.
Oh,
Here we go.
a question online?
Yes, we'll do that after.
All right.
First of all, thank you for your wonderful talk. My husband and I just recently discovered this center, and we've just been on a very quick spiritual journey over the last 2 years when my husband was in remission from stage 4 colon cancer.
Fantastic.
And we were always believed in positive thoughts and all that. We had no idea it was a spiritual practice. And we've been on this very fast forward in terms of like spirituality, and this place is wonderful. My question to you is, how do you, I've been accused of like toxic positivity in terms of like, I know that this is the way, it's easy for us to believe because we've lived it, but my friends or even my 13-year-old who life is hard sometimes when it's not so much for them as spiritual, if they don't have the resonation and the knowing that I have, how can I help them but also be understanding of what they're going through, even though I know how to help them, I just can't help them help themselves. Like, what do I do? How do I support them?
Well, the teaching of science of mind is not one of denial. So if they are bringing up issues or problems, you surely don't want to deny those, that they don't exist, because it's feelings that they are having, and feelings are warning signs that do merit the discussion. So you do have to become aware of the condition and limitation, because if you just ignore it, you're going to be stuffing that down. So you want to bring that, in my opinion, you want to bring that out in a conversation so that they understand where they are with the condition. And then I think it is fair to shift into the positive as to, well, what do you want to bring into your life? What would you rather have than this situation you're telling me about? And there, they get to describe the positive aspects of what they want to bring into their life. And through the law of attraction, your ideas and your thoughts will manifest and bring things into your existence to have those positive thoughts come through. So it is not just positive thinking. Because if it were just positive thinking, then Shaquille O'Neal could be a jockey. No. He might really want to be a jockey, but being 7'4", he's going to kill the horse. So you can have a lot of positive thinking, but you also have to direct that as to what you want to bring into your life.
Okay, so online, Sydney would like to share and ask if you would agree that to fully accept that we are perfect, whole, and complete, we must see the good only. I think this is similar to the last question. There is no separation from good. There is no dark side. Only good is true.
Well, no, I think there is a dark side. We have the shadow side of our existence, as Holmes pointed out. We color that perfect idea with our thoughts and limitations. And the trick is to accept, is our wholeness big enough to accept what appears to be broken? Appears to be broken because that's just a condition and just a limitation. And that doesn't have any independent power on its own. So we can accept without feeling the burden that I must always be perfect, whole, and complete in everything I do. Ernest Holmes says, if each day is a little bit better, a little bit healthier, then you're on the right path.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Very insightful. I hope that answered your question, Sydney. And then we have one more prayer request from Jeremiah Renee. I hope I'm saying that right. She would like prayer retreatment for a new vehicle and a new home, some new beginnings.
All right. Well, once again, let's go within. Take that deep, conscious, connected breath. Knowing I am one with Spirit, I am one with that Creator. It's in me, it's through me, and as me. And I know the essence of that Spirit, that Creator, is one of givingness and prosperity and abundance. That Creator has provided us with an abundance of food, materials, life. Everything around me speaks to abundance and prosperity. So as I know I want to increase my material goods, I know that abundance and prosperity is mine. And with that abundance, that method of transportation, that home I want to create, I want to see from my highest point of view what that feels like to be in a home of my own, to have a car of my own. And as I feel and I set my intention with my passion, then I have planted that seed into the universal mind, and that is that spiritual prototype that is already in existence. And I know that my thoughts, through the law of attraction, will bring into my existence that what is needed to provide what I am seeking. So this is the truth of my statement, and I am so thankful that I have this ability and this consciousness to guide my thoughts, to guide my emotions, to guide my consciousness into knowing what I want in my existence. This is the truth of my word. I release it into the law, knowing that it is already so, as we say, and so it is. Wow. Anything else for today? Okay, I just want to remind everybody that the yard sale, as you know, no junk, no big appliances, no furniture, but we are accepting heirloom and estate items. And if your item has what you believe to be more than just a hidden treasure yard sale, it has a value, because we will have a special section for estate and heirloom items, bring that into the lobby, because we won't put that into the storage container. And if it has value, we'll make sure it gets locked up, because we will have a special section for the heirloom and the estate section. And our two wonderful volunteers, Jane Zumbro and Vernetta Lieb, will be running that special heirloom section. So bring your stuff in. We got a couple weeks. We got the storage container. And then, of course, I'll be looking for volunteers to help set it all up in Richelieu Hall. And if you've been to the yard sales in the past, Richelieu Hall is filled with clothes and books and stuff, and it all raises money for the center. So I look forward to your help in setting that all up. Sign-up sheets in the back. Anything else? Thank you very much for your attendance.